great pleasure to welcome Justin Hume, the South African Vice President of Mobile Experience for Samsung. And Justin, it's always good to talk to you. You know, you and I go back a long way in this industry, and I've interviewed you many, many times. Last year, this time, I was in the US. There was a big launch happening in San Diego, if I'm not mistaken, with the S24. But I go back to the original S series and the incredible range that Samsung launched many, many years ago. The quality, the build quality, the innovation that goes into them. So I'm super excited to be talking to you about what's next and what's next for Samsung, because the year always starts with this big announcement. And last year's Galaxy S24 range, we really did see this incredible infusion of AI. You introduced an incredible wealth of features surrounding AI that literally blew my mind, and really they were critically acclaimed. How can you improve on the capabilities that you introduced last year with AI? So I'm super excited to be talking to you about the Samsung Galaxy S25 range. I see you at the Joburg Planetarium, as I know it, going there as a school kid growing up. It's now called something else, but you're right there. That's where the big launch is happening. The Galaxy S25 range, how does it compare to its predecessor? Is there a comparison? I'm pretty sure, knowing Samsung, they've added some very, very exciting new features. So talk to me about what's coming up with this Galaxy S25 range.
Actually, that's always exciting this time of year. So we hit Jan with a bang, right? That is Samsung's launch cadence, and out is coming with the Spring Park. Now, right behind me here is, as you say, the old planetarium. Today, it is known as the WITS Anglo-American Digital Dome. Now, inside that dome back there, that screen, it's just covered in screens. It's a sphere, and they take us through a journey through the cosmos. Now, we talk about Galaxy, we talk about the cosmos, we think about the stars that we that we utilize around AI. We just found it was fitting to have the launch here today. But it's about what we're going to be launching that is the real juice upon the story. Now, as you say, back in 2024, we announced that AI, true AI, was coming to a mobile device, mobile AI. Now, we also had to see that into a market that was asking questions about, well, does this work for me? What is the relevance? Why do I actually need AI on my phone? Those questions through the S25, I believe, have been answered. In fact, we got some stats out globally that say 25% of all customers last year who bought an S24 bought it because of AI. Now, in the past, we would have spoken about cameras. We would have spoken about the form factor. We would have spoken about a host of other hardware things. Now we're talking about what AI can do. Today, when we bring the S25 to market, we have the backdrop of the S24, which said, okay, here's an AI engine, here's what we can do. We're now introducing multimodal AI. And what we have is a seamless operation across apps. Now, that might sound like a bit of technical jargon, but if you give me a minute, I'm going to dive into what this does. So historically, think about your PC. You might have a Gemini, you might have Copilots, you might have a number of different AI engines or applications that you log into. We have now built this device with multiple AI engines in it, principally Gemini from Google, as well as Samsung's Bixby AI engine, and then with our brand new One UI interface, built off Android 15, but enhanced so much more. We decided we weren't just going to take the legacy system and build on top of that. We actually reworked the entire framework of our operating system to create an operating system that could almost be called AI OS, and that can go on. So this works seamlessly. To give you an example, what can happen is I'm chatting to you now, right? And let's assume that I'm here in Parktown. You might be sitting in Sandton. Now, my phone knows my diary. It knows I need to see you, and assume I have to get you. AI on Galaxy AI now will give you an alert. It will say, listen, you need to be leaving now. Your appointment with Aki is, say, 5 o'clock. It is 3 o'clock now. The traffic is going to be this. And what I'm going to do, or what it does for us is it says, right, it's read by calendar, it populates maps, and it gives me the recommendation of the time that I should leave. So it's working between messaging, and if I'm going to be late, it could probably, if I speak to it, it can even send a WhatsApp to you. So we have the ability, or the AI has the ability to work across seamlessly your messaging app like WhatsApp, your maps from Google, and your calendar that is situated on Samsung. Now, to put that in context, if you think about your AI today on whether it be your S24 or any other device for that matter, it's a very linear conversation. It is, hey, you, whoever, open my contacts. Then it doesn't. Find me this. Now what I can do is I can say, find me pictures with Aki and send it to his mom. Now, assuming, there's that, the question becomes in that, what is it? It is a pragmatic marker. How does the computer know what it is? But it realizes that I'm talking about Aki. Aki is in my contacts. Your mom, for example, is in my contacts, and it knows to take those images of us and send them across there. That can't be done typically or hasn't been done by anybody else. And that's what we bring in the power of AI today.
Well, it's extraordinary. And I look at the capabilities of the previous model and the translation, for example, one of the things I can't do without it now. It literally helps me in my day-to-day life. So what you're talking about makes complete sense for me, because it allows me to focus on the important things when all of this stuff happening in the background is handled by the AI that you talk about. And that's brilliant. Why is AI an area where Samsung is determined to be a leader in the flagship smartphone sector? Because you've certainly taken this sector by its scruff. You've really said we are the dominant guys here, and you're continuing this legacy going forward. What is the reason for this? I imagine, obviously, strategically, Samsung wants to be a leader, which it is, and you want to keep that leading role that you have within AI and the smartphone sector, I imagine.
True. I think all those things there, but think about it a little bit further than that, which is Samsung has almost unparalleled access compared to anybody else. AI has become prevalent across television sets, air conditioners, washing machines, the like. At the hub of this is your mobile device. So this is where our Bixby AI engine becomes truly powerful, is that we're focusing very heavily in making home AI a true reality. That means that through our Smart Things platform, which again is an open architecture platform. So we invite people like Yale Locks, Philips, Hume Lighting, these kind of partners to integrate with us. And we will continue that journey as it goes forward from there. So bring it back into the smartphone arena. These devices are personal to us. And what we have done with the new AI engine is introduce a level of personalization that has never been seen on mobile before. The brilliant thing about this is, as the phone learns about you, as it starts to understand the photographs that you take. So I'm going to use the photographic example for a second. Every time I take a photograph of you, the phone recognizes it, or of my son, or of my wife, and it starts to put together who is who, where it fits in my life, these type of things. Yeah. And then it can start building suggestions around that for me. A good example that could happen is I'm out on the golf course and I pull out my phone. Now, last year we introduced this Google Circle to search, which was simply a long press of the button with an image coming through my screen, like we're seeing right now. And I simply circle the image that I'm wanting. And then it would go off into the web and browse for what that could be. We've taken a step further now. Knowing that I play golf, as an example, and I circle somebody during their swing, as it goes through there, the app could immediately come up with suggestions of, historically, I have sent pictures of golf swings to you. And it would say, do you want to pop this up to Aki? Okay. Probably a bit of a poor example, but yeah, it's these type of things that it becomes contextualized, understanding, and almost preemptive of what you're looking to do, because it understands not just what you say, but also the intent behind what you say. Now, this has been one of the hardest aspects of human speech, human behavior for AI to understand. Semantically, it can understand words and the like, but the contextual speaker we have, because we very seldom say exactly what we mean. Otherwise, we'd be very literal and we'd be quite dull in our speech. AI is now catching up on that there. The brilliant thing about this is that people immediately think privacy, security, the like. We've built a personal data engine in this. So as it personalizes me, this personalization sits firstly within our Knox vault, which is one of those is arguably the strongest mobile security that exists out there. And as soon as I've put the user input into whatever I'm doing and the output is being generated, that data is scrubbed. So it never leaves my device in that regard. So, and I can determine what I want to have as on-device processing. And if I'm not too concerned about the privacy and the like, I want to browse the beach in Cape Town. Well, now break out into the web, obviously. And I go from that perspective. And that choice is mine now as to what is on-device processing, what is cloud-based processing. And that power is sitting on the S25.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the processor, and we're going to talk about the processor in a second, because that's a critical component of this device. Because, without this processor, what we're talking about would not be possible. But let's talk about the cameras for a second, because they are critical as well. And people use the Samsung Galaxy devices to take photographs and shoot videos. It's like part of their lives. And you've really created superb camera quality and image quality over the years. And I've no doubt that the S25 is going to be even better than what you introduced last year. What are those biggest improvements that you've made to the photography and videography capabilities of the Galaxy S25 smartphones?
First up with the Galaxy S25 Ultra, and first it retains the main 200 megapixel camera. As you mentioned, that has been outstanding from a photographic perspective. But we've then taken the wide lens, it's a new photo lens, and taken it from a 12 megapixel to a 50 megapixel lens. Now, macro photography is certainly taking off at the moment. That's become very useful. But again, there's multiple applications for it in an environment. We take great photographs during the day. But I suppose the renown for Samsung probably is actually where it stands out is in low light conditions. We've put that under the banner for many years of lithography. And now with our ProVenge visual engine that's been further upgraded, and I won't go to the technical part of that, but what the AI does is now in the low light environment, it starts to recognize what are static objects, what are moving objects. Now, the great thing about that is, think about low light photography. Typically, when you take a videography, more specifically, is you always end up getting that blur and you get that noise in the background. Probably most people listening have been to a concert, gone to somewhere where the band's playing on stage, you're in the dim audience, or whatever, you're zooming into the stage, and you think you're getting a great shot, but actually it's all grainy and what have you. Our new ProVisual engine or rebuild of that takes that out, because it's now able to identify what is the noise and what is the actual background to that. For me, that is probably one of the most outstanding features that we have, because so often those great moments happen in conditions that are not conducive to great photography, and the ability to remove that, or even the ability to say to my device, hey, Galaxy, clean up the image. And this is genuinely what it can do. It will then scrub through that and give you a wonderful clear picture afterwards. So, that's a stand-up control.
Yeah, it's astonishing, the AI that is involved in the background. And of course, the processing power to do what you've just said is really critical in this. And this is the question I want to ask you now, is that when you're buying a flagship device like the Samsung Galaxy S25, is that performance is critical, and it's really a very important part of the device. Can you explain to us the performance enhancements of the Galaxy S25 smartphones, the chips that they used compared to last year, for example? How have you enhanced the performance?
So we have stayed with our partnership on the processor side with Qualcomm, utilizing their Snapdragon platform. This time we go from the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy, if I recall correctly, to the Snapdragon 8 Elite, which is customized for Galaxy. Now, if you recall, I spoke about the One UI, our AI overlay that sits there. We've developed that some time back, but we started at the framework level with the partners of Google and with Qualcomm. So this chipset was designed right at the beginning to be able to function and to design and to deliver the kind of processing power that is needed for that on-device application to run multimodal AI seamlessly in that regard. So we're seeing newer processing speeds and performance improvements of up to 30%, 40% coming through in that regard. It has a meaningful effect in terms of reducing battery life according to that. So I would want to speak to you that that processor is the absolute foundational heartbeat of the Galaxy S25. Yeah. And I mean, it rivals PC level kind of using it.
No, it's extraordinary what you guys managed to pack in these devices. I mean, what what this can do in terms of processing power and crunching of numbers and of course we know what AI processing takes up. To be able to do it on the smartphone itself, as you mentioned earlier, is a critical part about it. So I mean, that's super exciting, and you know, it's incredible to see how efficient these processors are becoming. You mentioned about the energy saving, and of course that you're getting a better battery life, and it's just operating a lot more efficiently. Now, the smartphone range, I mean, you guys have come up with some incredible designs. Could you talk about the look and the feel and the robustness of the new S25 smartphones?
Certainly. I think from a design perspective, and again, we rather use the Ultra because the flagship of the range there, the edges are more square compared to what we had with the S24. I think it brings a nice, just a subtle refinement, but it makes it easier to hold the device, more natural in terms of that's what we'll have. The great thing about the Ultra in fact, in the range, we use the Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the back. And then for the Ultra, we have upgraded that to the Gorilla Glass Armor 2, which is 30% stronger than what was deemed to be the strongest glass in all the business, when S24 launched this. So this really can take a lot more brunt, the beating that comes through in everyday life. The phone wrapped in titanium in that regard, and it's remarkable to say the durability of these devices, and just what we put them through every single day. They survive these bumps and bruises and come out delivering a superb performance.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. The quality of materials that Samsung uses on their phones. I actually found the Samsung Galaxy S2 in my archives because I've got a long collection. I charged it up, and the thing's still charged up. It's running Android version. I don't know, predates Noah's Ark, but the point is that the battery still started up, and all of the previous devices that I have, because I collect these things, the build quality is extraordinary, and that says a lot about Samsung and what they put into their phones. When you look at the Samsung Galaxy S25, Justin, what is the one improvement or feature that excites you the most about the Galaxy S25 smartphones?
That's just tough. And then we come back because it is within the AI environment, and I'll explain that in a second. But you were talking about build quality and that for a short while ago, and it's something we're incredibly proud about is the circular, the sustainability that we look at. And we've got a goal that in every by 2030, every component will have at least one recycled part to that. Right now, a large portion of that battery, the cobalt in the battery, is gathered from a recycled cobalt from previous Samsung batteries. So that's exactly that S2 that you were talking about. We take those back in, and we've been able to reprocess that and deliver an even better battery through the improvement of technology that we bring to that. So that sustainability aspect is remarkable in that we're not only doing good, but doing it at an enhanced level effectively there. So I mean, that's something we're proud about. I think the feature, talking about what I love the most in the S25 range, it is that multimodal application function that we have the ability to cross between it. Now, think about this, a great example that I want to give you. You might remember from this thing called Drawing Assist, and there was somewhere where I could basically draw a little cartoon on the screen and would turn it into a piece of art. Now, kind of using the same technology within Drawing Assist, or the newer version of that technology of Drawing Assist, I can take a screenshot of an events calendar and have it immediately populate into my calendar. Screenshot, say this, pop it across into my calendar. How often I end up getting something as an image, I sit down probably using something like Excel, type out this date, this time, versus what has to happen. Then I move to here, this date, this time. And I spend hours putting all these things together. Now it happens automatically, just at the sound of my voice. Hey, Galaxy, ship this across. Or, but happening. To me, that's incredibly powerful.
No, it
And
certainly
so
is.
I can just chime in on that there. In terms of productivity, we underestimate just how conducive this is to finding things, searching things, and just bringing the context to us at the suggestion of our voice or the push of a button. And what's interesting, we touched on it briefly before, but we did some research, and only about 16% of all AI users today think that they are proficient in the usage of that. Now, that's remarkable because that just means that the scope for adding productivity, adding fun, adding to your device that you have is monstrous. In fact, we got to make it simple. We got to get, and that's why the one UI interface is so great, because it does simplify it for you there, and then it leverages that power and brings it to you in a very usable way. So that's our mission, to increase that usage, to bring that productivity.
Yeah, and you're spot on there, Justin. I mean, that number doesn't surprise me. When you start showing people the capabilities of these devices, and I think that the explosion is, exponential explosion of when people start using these features and to their full capabilities on these devices. When you start seeing the power, it just grows exponentially. And that number that you just mentioned, I think, was a lot less last year. So it's on the increase. And I think we are going to be surprised in the next 12 months, the exponential increase on how people are adapting to AI in their day-to-day lives and how they're using these kind of features when they're seeing the benefit and the value that it unlocks. So the important question is, you've got us all salivating and excited. When can we expect to get our hands on the Galaxy S25 smartphones from local retailers in South Africa? And I also know that Samsung traditionally has some great deals going if you check in early and put your order in early with the Galaxy S25. So when can we expect all of this?
So indeed, we have some great offers going through. The pre-orders will open Jan 23rd. So that's basically now in a pre-order phase, heading into that. And first delivery of stock will start taking place from approximately the 7th of February. So just around the corner. Now, for those who do pre-order, we are giving the opportunity to join in the broader ecosystem, and that is to include the Galaxy Watch 7 from, if you're on contract, from just 49 Rand per month, or if you're buying S25 on cash, just under 1,900 Rand, you could get a really top-end Galaxy Watch 7 to go with that. This is a brilliant pairing because the two devices just work seamlessly between each other, and they're designed for that synchronicity and purpose. So it's a great opportunity. We're still bringing our trade-in program that many people are familiar with, where you can get a guaranteed 10,000 Rand off your qualifying devices in the market. So yeah, again, I think each mobile operator or store has their own version of what we actually offer, especially on the S25 will be. And I'd invite anybody who's interested to go to Samsung.com or head on over to your favorite retailer.
Well, super exciting stuff, Justin. Congratulations. Looking forward to playing with the device. It's a very exciting device. And I mean, the build quality, and I just think that it is right there in the best of the best in the world right now. Congratulations, Justin Hume, Samsung South Africa's Vice President of Mobile Experience, sharing the exciting news about the brand new Samsung Galaxy S25 range and those AI capabilities. You got to get this into your hands, folks. Samsung, thank you. And Justin, thank you very much for joining us for this interview.
Thanks, Aki. Have a great one. Cheers.